To a news alert in Hall County. We're getting a look at the surveillance video of a shooting in a convenience store. Investigators say a woman was shot and killed last night by her former live-in boyfriend.
You're watching a woman walk back to her car. Nothing about this moment looks dangerous. She just finished a quick stop at her regular store. She's done this 100 times before. Her name is Tia Keith. She's 44 years old. She lives in Oakwood, Georgia, and everyone at this store knows her face. Tonight, someone else knows her face too. Someone she used to live with. Someone she was trying to leave behind. He's already inside her car, waiting, in the passenger seat, in the dark. Here's what you need to know before we go any further. First, this entire attack was captured on surveillance camera, second by second. Second, the man who did this is still not in custody right now as you watch this video. Keep that in mind, because what you're about to hear happened in under 60 seconds, and it changed everything for a family in Hall County. She opens the door, she sees him, and within moments, gunfire breaks the silence of that parking lot. She's hit. She's still moving. She pulls herself out of that car and runs. Not away from the store, toward it. She thinks the store means safety. Cameras, witnesses, a clerk behind the counter. She's wrong. If a case like this deserves to be seen, hit subscribe right now, because what happens next is the part investigators still can't fully explain. The gunfire isn't over. He follows her through that same door she just ran through. And what the surveillance camera captures next is the reason Hall County investigators are calling this one of the most disturbing domestic violence cases they've handled all year. The footage doesn't stop at the parking lot. Here's exactly what that camera caught next. Evidence. Let's slow this down, because every second here matters. It's 9:30 p.m. on July 16, 2026. The location is the Supana Food Mart on Mountain View Road, Hall County, Georgia. This is confirmed by the Hall County Sheriff's Office, not speculation. Tia walks in. She makes a purchase. She walks back out to her car, just like any other night. That's when she finds him, Antoine Sintel Thurman, her former live-in boyfriend, sitting in her passenger seat, uninvited. The sheriff's office says he shoots her multiple times while she's still inside that vehicle. Somehow, she survives that first round. She gets out. She runs. The store owner, Farouk Khan, watched this happen live on his own security system. I see on the camera number 1, and she's running. Go to the bathroom. Think about that for a second. He's watching this unfold in real time, powerless to stop it from behind a screen. She makes it back through the door. She's heading for the bathroom, trying to put a wall, any wall, between herself and him. He follows her inside. The clerk on duty, Khan's own nephew, calls 911 and takes cover behind the counter. That single decision may be the only reason there's a clear record of what happens next. Thurman fires again, multiple more shots. Tia Keith collapses on that store floor. She doesn't leave that building alive. This is Promise 1, delivered. You now know exactly how this happened, second by second, confirmed by law enforcement and eyewitness testimony. Old Oakwood Road and Mountain View Road shut down for hours while investigators process the scene. But here's what doesn't add up yet. Investigators say this wasn't random. This wasn't a fight that spiraled out of control. Someone planned this. Someone knew her schedule. Someone knew exactly where she'd be that night, which raises a question this entire case hinges on. If this was planned, one detail changes everything about how you should understand this case. Key question. Here's the detail that matters most. Thurman wasn't her boyfriend anymore. He was her former live-in boyfriend. The relationship had already ended before this night happened. That single word, former, is the most dangerous word in this entire case. This is Promise 2, delivered. Here's why leaving doesn't always mean the danger stops. In fact, research shows it's often when the danger gets worse. Data from the Bureau of Justice Statistics and the CDC consistently shows that the period right after a woman leaves an abusive relationship is one of the most lethal periods of her life. Let that sink in for a moment. Not staying, leaving. Now watch how closely this case follows that pattern. He waited for her at a location he knew she'd visit. She was a regular there. Everyone at that store knew her by name. That's point 1. He targeted her when she was alone. No family nearby. No one to call for help in time. That's point 2. Investigators aren't calling this random. They're calling it targeted, on the record. That's point 3. The charges include the Family Violence Act. That means law enforcement itself has classified this as domestic violence. Officially. That's point 4. And here's the point that should unsettle you most. Cameras, witnesses, an open, lit store full of people. None of it stopped him. That's point 5, and it's the one researchers keep coming back to. Because if a public convenience store wasn't safe enough, what exactly would have been? This is the uncomfortable truth domestic violence advocates keep repeating, case after case. Visibility does not equal safety. A public place does not equal protection. Tia didn't do anything wrong here. She stopped at a store. She tried to leave a relationship. She tried to build a life without him in it. Do you think a public location should have stopped an attack like this? Tell me why or why not in the comments below. Right now, the man responsible is still walking free. So who exactly is this man? And how close is he to getting caught? Suspect truth. His name is Antoine Sintel Thurman. He's 45 years old, from Oakwood, Georgia, the same town Tia called home. He now faces charges of malice murder, felony murder, and aggravated assault under the Family Violence Act. Investigators have already recovered the vehicle he was believed to be driving. They've also searched a residence in Metro Atlanta and recovered additional evidence there. But here's what they still don't know. What vehicle he's driving right now, where he's hiding, how he's staying ahead of them. So picture this for a second. You're at a gas station. A man walks past you, average height, heavy-set build, dark hair. You wouldn't look twice. That's exactly the problem. Here's what could actually give him away. He's 5'9", around 212 pounds. Black hair, brown eyes. He has a tattoo on his neck, visible, hard to miss, reading Romans 12:19. It's a verse about leaving vengeance to a higher power, not taking it yourself. If any of these details match someone you've seen, do not approach him. Share this video right now. Someone in your circle might recognize him before law enforcement does. There's one more detail investigators are watching for. Surveillance footage shows Thurman walking with a visible limp, consistent with a broken leg. That limp could be the one thing that gives him away in a crowd, a checkout line, a parking lot. If you've seen this man or recognize this description, comment below or contact Crime Stoppers of Atlanta immediately. Tips can stay anonymous. He's out there right now, and someone has probably already crossed paths with him. Unresolved close Tia's cousin, Charlotte Sosby, asked the world for one thing after this happened. Don't let this be the only story people remember about her. Tia owned her own hair salon in Gainesville. She was funny in a way that caught people off guard. Her favorite color was pink. She loved her father, Victor Keith, deeply. She was, by every account, the kind of person who made a room feel warmer just by being in it. Days after her death, her family gathered for a balloon release. Reverend Mike led them in prayer. Charlotte's message was simple. Don't let her legacy die. If you or someone you know is in a relationship that doesn't feel safe, especially one you're trying to leave, please reach out now. The National Domestic Violence Hotline is available 24 hours a day at 1-800-799-7233 or text START to 88788. This case is still open. Thurman is still not in custody. Subscribe now, because the moment there's an arrest in this case, we will bring it to you first. Hit the bell so you don't miss it. What do you want people to remember about Tia Keith? Tell us below. She was more than how this ended. She deserves to be remembered that way.